On a cold November day, nothing like jumping into the hot stove league.
Right.
Which is what we did today with Jack Zduriencik. We got it podcasted on the Bob and Groz show page there at 710sports.com. And just sort of a chance to catch up with Jack. We knew he wouldn't be specific on certain things, but kind of take the temperature on where he's at. And maybe the most important thing was figuring out how much money he has to do things with.
Well, and he said two things that caught my ear as a fan that's been frustrated with the continued spending cuts that they've suffered the last, 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. He said that, when asked about the budget, he didn't give an exact number, but he said he thinks they might have a little bit more than what they started with last year. And what they started with last year was $84.9 million, right? So
right.
We went through and added up the salary they've got committed currently, and then Jeff Baker article kind of talked about the arbitration eligible guys. When that's all settled, about another $12 million, kind of guesstimating. So you're figuring they've got $60 million committed. If they just keep it at 85, just round up to 85, which we think it'll be a little bit more.
It's $25 million.
$25 million. They can do some damage with that. And he also said that if the right guy is out there, he didn't specify obviously Josh Hamilton or anybody in particular, but if there was the right guy that he felt was worth the money, that he would go to ownership and make the case for it, that he thinks they could get that done. So now, again, you can read into that what you want. But knowing that he would go to make the case that he felt like this was sort of a time where he felt like the team was ready. In the past, he says, this team's not ready for a move like that. Sounds like they're leaning more towards this team is ready to make a bigger splash, if you will.
Well, I think it's fair to say, too, 25 to 30 million would about be the yearly rate for a guy like Josh Hamilton in terms of, and who knows? I mean, the other X factor in this, we talked about a little bit, is the fact that the market is flush with cash. The teams are on the network level are getting more money this year. We know about the Dodgers deal, and the Mariners have one coming up, and the Dodgers have absolutely said they're going to spend and picked up, $80 million from the Red Sox roster last year to do so. Remember last year when Prince Fielder and Pujols were going, the Yankees weren't in, the Red Sox weren't in. You'd expect them to be active. Theo Epstein with the Cubs didn't do anything last year. They're a club that didn't play in free agency that could. So, the idea of getting bargains, I think we know, is gone. I mean, it's not going to happen. So the second tier guys, and I think we kind of settled on outfield. You're thinking about guys like that. Upton certainly would be at the top of that. Shane Victorino is a guy's name has been mentioned. Michael Bourne from the National League. These are guys who are probably going to get $15, $16 million a year anyway. They're in their 30s, so you might not have to do the big, long 7-year deal. But the thing that struck me is there aren't going to be any bargains out there, and you certainly would hate to hear that the Mariners are shocked by the numbers that they're seeing. I mean, the way to combat that is to act first.
Well, and the one thing you come to the conclusion, they don't have the excuse they've had the last 4 years, which is we don't have the money because the payroll that was out of Jack's hands. He can only spend what they give him. They kept cutting it $10 million a year. What's he supposed to do? He told us himself that excuse doesn't exist this year. They're not cutting payroll. In fact, it may be a little bit higher. Get it done.
Well, you asked them a good question too on the way out, and something that Mariner fans can take. And look, there's Mariner fans are impatient, and for good reason. I mean, they're tired of losing. I thought one of the things when you asked him about the impact, if he's heard any from agents and whatnot about moving in the fences, and the answer was yes, from every single agent. So that's good news. Just go out there. What does Larry the Cable Guy say? Oh yeah, get her done.
Wow, really?
Hey, man.
Glad he said it, and I didn't.
Why don't you just come dancing by and finish it for us?